Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you? Of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
So every day more and more information is coming out in regards to this Nolan Wells case, and everybody's talking about it. Now I kind of scaled back from a lot of the Nolan Wells videos because there's a lot of stuff coming out where people just reposting anything. And I want to get closest to the truth as we can get, because we're not getting much from the Jackson County DA or the coroner. They still haven't released the autopsy. So we know that there was a W man. He released a video about a week ago saying that he had information and he was going to release his hard drive and get all those W boys in trouble. But then it came out that he was lying. He wasn't telling the truth. But now we have the 911 call from the boat, and people are saying that you can hear them saying a lot of stuff on that boat.
Okay, how many adults on board?
There's 0 adults on board.
There's nobody on board the boat?
No. Nobody here is over the age of 21.
Sir, that was not the question.
There's been a whole bunch of stories. A whole bunch of people have stories that he was out with his friends. They went out. He met the girl Katie. He stayed back. They left because they said that they were sinking. Katie, she didn't come out and said, "Man, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I seen him in passing. He went his way, I went my way." Some theories is that he stayed on there and he ended up being unalived on the island and his body washed up. So there's all kinds of stories. But in this 911 call, people are starting to believe that he was unalived on the boat. And you can hear them saying, "Nolan, wake up. Nolan, get up." And, people were speaking real frantic in the background. There was a lot of noise. There was a lot of noise being, and panicking.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming?
As this was coming across the airways, there was a lot of music blocking out the people where you can kind of sort of make out what they were saying, but you couldn't get an outstanding understanding for what they were saying. There was issues, right? But you could clearly hear that there was some form of confrontation. There was some form of problem happening or panic on the boat at the time that one of the guys was talking to the 911 dispatch. We definitely can hear something. People are making out certain things. I don't fully know, so I don't want to really just say what it is that I think that they were saying. I want to have proof. We can substantiate what's being said, if these guys unalived him and threw him in the water or not. Now, with technology, they've turned the music off, and they can still sort of kind of hear what they're saying.
To connect you.
Detail assistance, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the word coming up, sir?
Now, again, there are a lot of things being said, but that we still can't prove everything, right? Now, they may have been saying, "Nolan, get up," and in panic, and Nolan could have been unalived on that boat. But there's still a lot of things that we can't prove. And I don't want to just keep throwing stuff out because it messes up what we're trying to do. When you have so many people on social media just posting stuff just to post stuff, we got to make sure we're accurate when we're saying certain things. So I'm still refraining from until I hear, from the professionals that really get stuff out. I'm glad that they're having an independent, they're doing everything independent of the Mississippi police, the coroner, and everything else, because we can't trust them to bring us facts on what actually happened to Nolan. But what we do know is they was making this phone call saying that they was sinking and there was water in the boat and they was panicking. But then the grandfather of the person that called ended up calling and saying that they didn't need any help all of a sudden. And I believe that may have been a cover-up, because I think that they was I believe that they may have been panicking whatever happened to Nolan on that boat. So they start making the phone calls, but then they call Granddad, and Granddad start telling them what to do. So now, once the dispatch got on the phone with the grandfather, he was basically saying that they don't need no help, right? They're fine, and when they, basically they was handling everything.
Hi, Captain Seth. This is Vicky from International. How you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good, good. I apologize ahead of time. I really do. You're going to have a fee for service come up under Jerry.
Okay.
Um, the, it sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island. Um, he's letting me know that his father's a member, but he can't give me any information. And he's saying the boat is sinking, and he's on Horn Island. It's just unfortunate. He's just a kid. There's a lot going on. So
Right.
he said there's about a lot of people on board. He says he thinks about 7. I'm guessing they're all under 18.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be rude. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Do you know what kind of boat it is?
He said a Triton 24-footer, but that's all he can give me.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just actually got off the phone with his grandpa, who I'm guessing is the owner of the boat, and
Is it
he
Jerry?
said that yeah,
Mhm.
Jerry. Yeah, he said
Okay.
I just hung up with him. He said that they don't need any help right now, but if something changes, he'll call me back. So
Oh,
I'm
right.
guessing that they may have figured it out, because that's what he said. So they're in a panic and their boat won't crank.
Yeah,
Or,
they're in a panic.
Now this audio is over 20 something days old. It's 3 weeks old. Now remember, he was unalived on the 4th of July. We're at the end of July. They haven't released anything. Now I will be very interested to see on the 8th, when the autopsy was done, those photos that was taken when they first freshly found his body. Is they're not releasing anything, and what I'm detecting is the reason why they haven't released anything, because there's something that they're hiding. Had it have been open and shut and he was just round, for sure they would have released everything. But whatever pictures they took of him when they first found his body, there was something going on with that body that they did not want us to know. Now we know that Mississippi has a history. We could just start in 2016 to now, where we've had countless black men hung from pecan trees, hung from all kinds of trees, drowning everything. And in the coroner's report, they called it suicides, right? But when they had independent autopsies, it showed that these people were murdered. I showed you guys this already, right? So we know that the history of Mississippi, you have to do independent investigations because you cannot trust them. Then we get down to, they're saying that these young boys, which were minors, were impaired. And if they were impaired, who gave them the alcohol? If they were on any kind of substances, where did they get the substances from? While they were on maritime law, while they were on the boat on the water, right? There's so many things that's not being told. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that audio, when the feds came in to probe, they have already for sure removed the music and already use the machines to translate what's being said on that boat. So what's in the dark, as long as the feds is involved, it should come to light. Because you guys remember the Ahmaud Arbery case. They did the same thing during the Ahmaud Arbery case, where they tried to cover it up, and that Beelzebubian DA down there ended up getting in trouble because she tried to cover it up. But things came to light, and all those guys end up getting life. Right? They end up getting life sentence because they murdered Ahmaud Arbery, but they tried to cover it up. So now, I'm not saying yet that that's the same thing here in Mississippi, right? But where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's a reason why they're not uncovering the evidence that they have, right? When they sent his body down there without organs, and the autopsy was inconclusive. It's the reason why they're doing that. It's the reason why Mississippi is hiding evidence, right? But the DA, she came out to get out in front of this, and she gave a statement.
I understand the public's urgency to know what happened to Nolan, but we are not taking time for time's sake. We are taking the time required to complete the work this investigation demands. Since Nolan was reported missing, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have worked around the clock investigating what happened to him. Every piece of evidence must be examined. Every credible lead must be followed to its conclusion. Every witness interview must be analyzed in context of all other evidence. The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. I also understand that many people have questions about why more information has not been released publicly. In Mississippi, the rules of professional conduct restrict the information a prosecutor can release during an investigation. Our restraint in communicating facts and evidence is not an effort to keep the truth from the public. It is an effort to protect the integrity of this investigation and the grand jury proceeding. As your district attorney, I have an ethical obligation to avoid public statements that could influence witnesses, prejudice a proceeding, or compromise the fairness of the legal process. My obligation extends to and requires me to use reasonable care to ensure investigating agencies avoid making those statements and releasing information as well. These rules exist to protect the search for the truth, not to prevent it. When the public asks, what about this, or have they looked at that, or did they think about this? The answer is yes. Those are the same questions investigators ask. The difference is that we can't publicly discuss the evidence, the interviews, or what those efforts have uncovered while the investigation is underway.
We all remember July 25th, 1941, the birthday of Emmett Till. And, when he was unalive, August 28th, 1955. I mean, it is what it is in the history of Mississippi. The history of Mississippi speaks for itself in regards to foundational Black Americans, right? And our history with Mississippi. So there's no way in God's green earth that we're going to trust Mississippi to handle anything in regards to us. And I will have a live stream coming talking about the recent unalivings in Mississippi, right? And breaking down the Ahmaud Arbery case in regards to this case and how they cover things up in the South, right? And I want to say again, we need to see those pictures or those images that was taken of him when they first found his body. When they put his body on that slab to do that autopsy, I believe it was on the 6th or the 8th, right? They're covering those things up. They don't want us to see what he looked like, because that for sure would entail what happened to him. And right now they're not saying anything, and they're trying to say, well, we're being thorough. And I want another thing I want you guys to understand. When they say it's not about race, everything in this country is about race. Everything is about black and white. We didn't create the racial construct in here. We was just discriminated with it. We was unalive with it. We was marginalized with it. When you talk about race baiting, they use their media to race bait us. MSNBC, CNN, ABC, all the news stations that they use, radios and everything that you can think of to destroy our image, right? To destroy our image. So when you talk about race baiting, they are the ultimate race baiters. I want to tell my people, I understand that you might not like Al Sharpton or Benjamin Crump, but be careful when you say things to denigrate them in the public, because you also offer up these people to also use that as ammunition to go after Nolan Wells and his family. So just be careful, right? Sometimes we got to just sit things out and just, you know what, I ain't going to say that on this one, because we're giving them ammunition, right? And it brings out the Brandon Tatums and all these other people that want to say disparaging things. But Crump was very instrumental in helping Ahmaud Arbery family find out what happened, right? So I'm not the biggest fan of them either, but I don't want to give these people ammunition to harm the Wells family, right? We want to get justice for Nolan Wells. So we have to be smart in the way that we're moving, and you definitely can't trust them. So don't let them get you with that mind control, race baiting stuff. They are the ultimate race baiters. That's why man, listen, trust me. They are the ultimate race baiters. And they use everything that they can do to make you believe something that you're not, and the lie, right? And that's how they can come and tell you that they have black fatigue. That it's all mind control, man. And they always get a few huckleberries, black people that'll come out and do their bidding for them, right? The Brandon Tatums and all of them. So we just, we're waiting for all the information to come out, and as more of this come out, I'll report more of it, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. And remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.